Good morning, Sunday morning. Come on, our Sunday soul chat. I am looking forward to this. Just gonna wait one second, everyone here. Mhm. Okay. Oh, you guys, it is wonderful to be here with you. I was supposed to meet here with my friend Felicia. We were going to have one of our soul chats with you guys, and she can't be here today due to some family emergencies. And so I am here with you on my own. So I'm asking you all to send some love to Felicia. I know you don't really know her yet. Beautiful lady. She lives down in New Jersey. She is a client of mine, and we have been having such powerful conversations together. And every time we have a chat, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wish everyone could hear this right now. I wish everyone could benefit from this conversation we're having right now. And so that's why we decided to come in and do soul chat together. And Felicia is just getting her business off the ground, and she is, wanting to offer just these art and soul chats for people. So, anyways, we will bring her back on another time. Sorry, itchy nose. Time of the season of allergies, right? So, hello. Come in and please say hello so I know I'm not alone. And I am going to hopefully exude some of this beautiful energy out for everyone that give you a pickup on this Sunday morning. It is rainy and kind of cold today. So, hi, Joanna. Hello. Yay. I'm so glad you're here, Joanna. Thank you for coming. Um, so let's just take a minute first and hi, Lynn. Hello. Good morning. Take a minute and just take a few breaths for yourself and just come into your heart. Breathe slower and just be present. Let go of all your worries, of everything around you, and just really just bringing your full awareness, your focus down into your heart. Just anchor into your heart just for a minute here. This is where our truest inspiration and understanding comes from, is from this place here. And when we are not aligned with our heart, we're not opening that channel above and below, then we are blocking this understanding. We're blocking this beautiful energy guidance. So just take as long as you need to take your breaths. And this is what we want to tap into every day. This is that allowing, that feeling within us, that feeling, that energy within us that we want to tap into every day. So take a minute and feel into it today for you. What is that energy today? What is that feeling? Is it a little bit sluggish? Do you need to pick it up a little bit? Do some dancing and just allow it to come through. I know I was feeling that way this morning when I was sitting here. I was like, oh, I'm just feeling really tired all of a sudden. I got up and I was wide awake when I woke up this morning, felt really good. And then all of a sudden I started getting really sleepy and tired. And so I needed to get up and move my body around a little bit to let that energy flow through. And that is definitely one way. But what else is there? What else is calling to you? What else are you feeling in there? Is it a feeling of you know, I just have this nudge to get up and do this, to maybe get this project going? Is it a nudge to um, maybe take a little time for yourself today, right? Quiet time and refuel, fill yourself up, rejuvenate a little bit. It's really important that we really listen to those feelings within us, because otherwise, as human beings, we actually just we're governed by our emotions and feelings, and that's where we allow these emotions and feelings to govern our life. We allow these emotions and feelings to tell us what decisions to make, and they actually control our mind. And that's not always good, because our emotions and feelings are often unstable and chaotic. And so when we're listening to those, then we're not hearing the inner guidance. Our mind is not the one that should be making the decisions in our life. Our mind is for, it's a beautiful gift of logic that we have in our mind, but it's also for understanding and communicating and um, researching, like finding out more, right? But it's not the part that should be making the decisions in our life. And that is often what we do when we're caught up in that cycle of emotions and feelings. That is what is controlling us. And so it's really important that we stop each day and we tap into that other part of ourselves that holds the deeper knowledge, the deeper understanding. That understanding within our heart, within our bodies, within our connection. I believe with all of my heart that there is a beautiful sacred force all around us and within us. It is part of who we are. This is our life force energy. And this life force energy is in every cell of our bodies. It is in every plant, every blade of grass, every tree, every animal, and every person around us. And this is how we are all connected, because we have the same life force energy, and this energy moves and it guides, and it knows what to do. It's the force that tells the seasons to change. It tells when the flower needs to bloom, when the plant needs to grow. This beautiful intuitive energy is here within us also. And so if we are not so fully aligned with this energy, then we are making decisions based on our own reactions to our own fears and our own emotions. And where are those coming from? But from fear-based emotions. Good morning, Kathy. So the biggest thing is for us to be aware, become more and more aware of where are we coming from? Are we coming from the fears? Are we coming from our emotions and reactions to the world? And the world is at the frequency of fear. We are tuning forks, tuning in to the world, because we're human. Wherever we go, we are going to tune into the strongest energy that is there. And because we are like a tuning fork of frequency, we just like, you know, did you ever have, I remember when the teacher held the tuning fork up to a radio, and the tuning fork started to buzz. And I was like, what? I remember that blowing my mind. I was in elementary school. I don't know, maybe grade 4, 5, or 6. And I remember that clearly going, what the heck? And and she told us it was vibration, the vibrations of the sound coming through the air. And that was it was actually affecting the tuning fork. Well, it's not a great leap then to go, well, what is affecting our frequency? What is changing us? And so we need to be fully aware of that and not try to fight it because it's a strong energy out there. That frequency of fear out there in the world, that's a very strong frequency. And it's very hard for us to fight it, but it's important that we are aware of it and we are aware when our frequency starts to shift and change and we start to feel off a little bit. We go, oh, okay, this is not making me feel so good. I think I need to leave, right? And a lot of times we can't leave because it's our job or the office that we work in, or we're somewhere where we can't get out of there. I remember when my son was very, very attuned to energy frequencies, and he still is. He's actually a reflector. If anyone here is in human design, he's a reflector, which is a very rare um, combination in human design. But I remember we went to West Ed once when they were little, and we spent the day at West Ed, and he hated being in crazy, like busy places. And on the way home, he was complaining about having a headache or migraine, and then his stomach was upset. And it's like, I knew right then and there, I knew we had been in that mall too long, and that frequency was throwing him off. And it does that. He was like a mirror for me to learn. Like, it's like, we need to be aware of how our frequencies in our internal bodies are affected by the energies around us, the frequencies around us. And so then we need to also be aware of, well, how do I bring myself back to my center? How do I settle myself down? How do I cleanse my energy field of that fear frequency and come back to my heart? The more work you do on yourself, the more you work on your awareness, your self-growth, your cleaning up of all the debris within you so that you don't get hooked in to those frequencies because of patterns that you hold within you, then the easier it is for you to become the stronger frequency. And that is our goal. So that when you walk into a room, you are the strongest energy in the room. You become that strongest energy in the room. You become that light that shines out so that when you walk into a room, you radiate that out, and other people then are attracted to you just naturally. That's becoming the magnetic, beautiful being that you are. Ah, I love it. Okay, so that is one thing to be aware of. So today, where is your frequency at? And if you are in a situation where other frequencies interfere with you, if you feel out of control with that, that is where the work begins. Is so, okay, well, how do I get stronger? And that is one of the beautiful things that we're doing in clearing debris through forgiveness. Is that that's what it does. It makes you stronger. Because if you are that beautiful divine light, if you are that, then everything in your life should be unfolding the way you want it to, the way your heart is desiring. But if it's not, it's because we are getting in the way of that beautiful light and we are feeling unworthy of it. How can we be unworthy of it when we are part of that energy? How can we be unworthy of something that we already are? We are the ones that are blocking the flow. We are the ones that are trying to be in control when we need to settle into that beautiful essence within us. We need to settle into that guidance, to that heart frequency, and be there as much as possible instead of allowing our emotions to control where we are at. Okay, so that is part of the other topic we were going to talk about was the surrendering. Surrendering is, surrendering that that understanding, into the trust that the understanding will come instead of trying to figure it out with our head, instead of trying to gain more knowledge. It's coming into that understanding. And when we surrender into that understanding, when we surrender in letting go of the need for more knowledge and just trusting that it is all here already, that's when we feel safe. That's when the fear releases and when we start to come into our pure frequency, our pure essence. Whew. And that's a beautiful thing. And when we do that, that's when we have amazing creative flow. So that's one of the things, one of the big signs for, I tell women, people that come into my world, if you're feeling the need for more creativity, it's because your soul is nudging you stronger and stronger and stronger. Your soul, that beautiful heart space within you is starting to open up and rise up and connect you to this understanding, to this flow that is within us, instead of being in our head all the time, in our mind all the time, trying to figure things out. It's calling us in. And so we can see that through our creative flow. We can see that when we get those beautiful nudges of like, it is time for me to spend a little more time being creative. It's like this hunger within me when I feel that rise up of creativity. It's a hunger that cannot be satiated until I sit down, and for me it's painting or drawing, right? Or writing, channeling through things. What is it for you? What creativity comes through for you? Is it baking? Is it gardening? I mean, oh, I feel that urge to be hands in the soil, right? Get out there, get into the earth. Um, you can feel this rising up within you. And we are in a time of things are changing and shifting. More and more people are coming into this awareness, this knowledge that, oh, there's got to be something more here. And they're starting to feel it within them. And that rise of creativity, it's been coming over the last few years. I've been talking about it for a couple of years now of like, paint nights. People want to go make paint nights. People want to go crafting, make signs. The upsurge of our young, there's so many young people around me that are crocheting, macrame, knitting, sewing, quilting. These young women that are like, yeah, I'm learning how to quilt with my grandma. It's like, this is beautiful. This is the rise of that creative flow. This is more of that, and you can call it what you want, but more of that light coming into the earth, being grounded into the earth. This is here for us, and the world is changing, even though we might not think so. It is changing. It is changing. When you look out at the news, it tells you all the bad stuff. But when you look around you, look at the people around you, look at how many people are becoming more aware. How many are more open to talk about soul or energy? I mean, 20 years ago, people wouldn't talk about that. They were afraid to. How many more people are being creative around you? How many more are wanting to be more creative? How many more are wanting more quiet time? How many are wanting to be out in nature? It is rising and growing. And that is the evidence that you can look for. Being out there with animals, being out there, you know, hiking in the mountains, just being out there with trees and water, feet on the earth. Ugh, we are all craving more of this. And that is because our frequencies are rising up. We are opening up to more of this light coming through us. All right. Okay, so tell me if you're feeling that. Put it in the chat. Just say, yeah, I'm feeling more creative. I am absolutely wanting to do more sewing. And it comes through in all different ways. Even in the right, the working out, the yoga, that sort of thing. That is definitely important. So one of the biggest things to be aware of is your relationship with you, getting to know you, your relationship um, with your heart. You know, I didn't know myself for so many years. I didn't know what I stood for. I didn't know what I believed in. Feeling more, yeah, Joe said yes, feeling like doing more creative things. Yeah. And that creativity, like that's why I incorporate painting and everything in because it becomes our opening up to more. As we paint and create, we open up more to that beautiful intuitive side. Kathy, I love my daily walks to listen to and watching the birds and trees. Oh, that is soul food, right? When you start taking those walks, especially if you're in the country too, and you can be in nature, that's one thing I do miss as we moved into town, and I miss walking in my yard with my dogs because we had a big acreage and I could just walk through the trees, and that part I miss, but we are finding other ways. So I do a lot of walking too. Mm. Those are almost like walking meditations too, right? When you're out walking, it becomes meditative for you. Beautiful walking meditation. Ah, so important to take that time because that is when we come into that frequency of our unique frequency. And each of us, it's like a fingerprint. Each of us has that unique frequency within our DNA, that perfect frequency alignment for us. And this is important to keep coming back to, which is why if it's in our DNA, it's the guidance comes from within us, right? It comes from within our bodies, within our heart, not our head, but dropping into our body, into our heart to find what is it that I need? What's my soul food? What brings me back to my center and to my wholeness and to become soulfully aligned? It may be different for you than it is for me. Perfect. Yes. So the coming into your creative flow helps you strengthen that relationship with that inner voice. You will begin to hear more and more of it as you spend more time consciously choosing to nurture that within you. That is your divine feminine within you. If you hear me talking about that, that beautiful divine feminine is the part of you that's intuitive, the part of you that loves to be creative, that loves to, sink into a hot bath and feel into that moment. Yeah, that's perfect. So we've talked about that. Now, the faith and the trust that you need to get there, trusting that inner voice. Some people might like be thinking, yeah, but I thought I was listening to my inner voice, but things didn't work out. How can I trust it? How can I know that that is the right direction for me? It's like, well, for me, it's been trial and error over the years. And also then looking back and going, yeah, I knew I was supposed to do that, and it's gotten stronger. The calls for the steps that I need to take has gotten stronger. But it, even the ones that I thought were not right, even those steps that I thought, oh, I messed up, I screwed up, were perfect in themselves because I learned from it and gold came out of it. I got wiser. And I always know too now when I get that intuition, that little nudge of even even when it's like the path you take when you drive to work, if you've got different routes you can take, and you get that little intuitive nudge, oh, go this way today, right? Little things like that. Keep trying to experiment with those things. The more often you attune to those intuitive nudges, the more often that you listen to them and experiment with them, the louder it gets. This is something actually that is so we go deep into this in the Creative Mystic. So the Creative Mystic is my program. It's where you learn how to listen to this voice within you. You learn how to connect to it, to attune to it, to grow your psychic gifts because as you walk the path of soulfully aligned women, as you keep going, your psychic gifts do develop. That's just part of the perks and it happens to everyone and everyone's comes out in their own unique way. And so the Creative Mystic program begins on July. The Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic certification is for the women that are walking that journey. Plus, we're doing oh so much more, and we're building a business for ourselves also. And we're going to take this out because we need more soulfully aligned women offering this out to the world. This is the time. This is the time to rise. So the certification begins June 21st. But those that don't want the certification and just want to do that one section, the Creative Mystic part with us, that is available for anyone too. So that will start in July. Um, anyways, I lost my train of thought there and I went off on that. But we were talking about listening to that inner voice and how do I know when it's right and how do I trust it? It's like you just do it. You just start to listen, start to pay attention. In the Creative Mystic, we dive in further into other ways that you learn to trust it and you hone into it and channel it and that sort of thing. But for most of us, it's just a matter of listening and feeling in. I've told the story before of when I had I had a friend who had lent me a couple dresses and for my book launch and they were beautiful. I absolutely loved them and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love these dresses." And I didn't want to give them back, but I knew I had to. So I had gotten them dry cleaned and they were hanging in my room and it had been quite a few weeks and I was like, oh, I need to get these back to her. And I kept putting it off, putting it off. And the one morning I was sitting there meditating and doing my journaling. And all of a sudden it was like, I need to return those dresses today. Today's the day. And I was delivering artwork around to a couple different towns. And so I thought, well, I'll go and drop them off at her house first and then go to the next town. And so I dropped them off at her house and I thanked her. I was so grateful. And I'm like, where did you get these dresses? Like, where did you get that dress? Because I love that dress. And she's like, oh, I got it at this store in this town. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to that town. I have artwork to deliver to a school at that town. So I delivered my artwork and I was excited to go to this store that I hadn't been in. And I open up the door, and here is the dress sitting there on a 50% off rack in my size. the exact dress. So it's like there was that nudge when I was sitting there doing my journaling. All of a sudden it pops in to my head. You need to return those dresses today. And as I was dropping them off, it was like, ask her where she got them. And one thing, that's the kind of flow that you can get into when you wake up to this relationship that you can develop within you. It can help you with everything. It can help you with, you know, what food should I eat? What should I order? What would be the best food for me? Intuitive nudges rather than emotions and feelings. Intuition, tapping into that guidance, and it can help you with bigger things. It guides all of my programs and courses that I offer online. It was the intuitive nudge that I followed to be here today, even without Felicia, even though I would love to have her here. It was the intuitive nudge to all of a sudden say to Felicia, we need to do this. Like, I am feeling a really strong call that we need to be together having this conversation online in Soulfully Aligned Women and sharing it out there in the space with everyone. And then when she called me and said, things have gone sideways and I can't be there. So we're sending her our love and our prayers. Um, there was still that intuition of like, you need to go on, you need to do this. And Soul Chat was just kind of that came up for us. It was like, we need to do a soul chat. So all of these nudges, everything I do in my business is aligned with this guidance, and it helps everything is unfolding beautifully, right? So when we follow this flow, when we get into that rhythm and the opening up to hearing this voice and these nudges and this guidance, and when we take the time to stop and ask for guidance, seek out the guidance, that is when flow comes into our life, and ease and just grace. That is the beauty of it. So I think for today, the message is just take the time to tap into that guidance. Take the time to listen. I do a lot of journaling because it comes through in my writing. The guidance comes through in my writing, but it does come through in meditations now too, and even meditations in our groups, in my morning meditations with you guys. So if you're not familiar with those, Monday to Thursday, I come in at 7:17 a.m. and do a guided 10-minute guided meditation with an inspirational message for you for the day. Um, we also have coming up this Wednesday is Soulfully Aligned Circles. So for May, so May 10th, not, yeah, we're in May. So 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st. Soulfully Aligned Circles is happening. And so come and let me know if you want to join for Wednesday night at 7 p.m. with us. We have a group of ladies already started and like joined in, and I'm inviting you. It's $35 for all 4 nights, and we gather, we meditate. I take you through a meditation, a visualization, and we talk about so many things. Last month, we talked about our power and tapping into that personal power that we have and how to hone it and how to um, bring it back when we feel lost. So we'll see what this month brings. It's very loose and open for conversation because it is a circle for women. And clearing debris through forgiveness starts tonight. So clearing debris through forgiveness, if you are like finding it difficult to hear that voice, if you have a lot of debris and past experiences, some trauma. Haven't we all had trauma in every way, shape, form? Like whether it is from health or money or divorce or abuse of some kind or addictions. alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. This is a beautiful container of finding our way out of that darkness and back into forgiveness. Forgiveness is softness. Forgiveness is the coming back home in your heart. It is truly the surrendering. And it is when we come to an understanding instead of trying to control and figure things out. Hmm, that is so important. And in forgiveness, even if there is someone else that has hurt us and we feel like, I don't want to forgive them, there is always a part of that where we need to forgive ourselves. And this is the biggest part of this whole course that we do. It's 40 days of walking through day by day, coming into your heart. It is powerful. And if you come into it with the intention that, yes, I want to let go of all this debris that is clogging up my channel and I want to release it, then you are going to have miraculous shifts. Miracles will occur. And we use the book May Cause Miracles by Gabby Bernstein. It is this one here. As we walk through these 40 days, it is incredibly powerful. So I invite you, if you want to join us in that, it is all about forgiveness. And I know some of you are already here, you are already in. So the clearing debris for forgiveness. And I'm so excited to get started with that with all of you. So that happens tonight, kick off tonight at 7 p.m. So I invite you to come and join us. Let me know if you want the link. Just put it in the comments. I can send you the link. If you want to come to just the Soulfully Aligned Circles for now on Wednesday nights, these are all ways that we become more soulfully aligned. It is a time to be together, to circle up and support each other and do this together. That is where the power and strength is when we come together and we bring our energies together, we create a vortex of energy that is healing for all of us, as well as healing for the earth. And we are holding space for the whole world as it moves through these chaotic times. So if you are feeling like you are caught up in your emotions a lot, you need to come to either the circles on Wednesday night or come join Clearing Debris. And if you are feeling the call that I need to come out and do this, I need to figure out and bring my business forward, and I need to, yes, I want to be leading groups in this way. I want to somehow bring this beauty out into the world, then the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic certification is for you. And so I invite you to take a look at that. So much going on. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Um, Thank you all for coming. And let me know in the chat here, just put in here, how do you stay soulfully aligned? What is your best practice? Share it in here so that everyone can see, because sometimes we don't even realize we're already doing the things we need to do. We just need to ramp it up a little bit. So put it in the chat here. What do you do? What's your biggest practice? And mine, there's three: meditation, writing, free writing, channeling through my writing, and painting. Okay, those are my three. So put yours in, share it with everyone so that we can feel like we're in this together. We are in this together. And we have a group here of 800 ladies. That's awesome. Look at the powerhouse we have. Share in the group. Share on Soulfully Aligned Women, your inspiration, share what you're doing, bring it forward, because then we feel more like we belong. We feel more like we're in it together. I want to thank you all for being here. I love you. I hope you found this helpful and inspirational. And I will see you either tomorrow morning for morning meditation, tonight for clearing debris through forgiveness, or Wednesday night for soulfully aligned circles. Bye for now.